Hey everyone, I'm the Only Resh and welcome to the channel. It is the last Thursday of the month, and if you're familiar with my channel, you may know what that means. It's time to talk about the best new games coming out next month. Usually I like to keep a good variety in these lists, and this month we've got a zombie shooter, multiplayer downhill racing, first-person ARPG, and a big Metroidvania game. October is yet another great month for games this year. Let's get started with Back 4 Blood. If you ever played the Left 4 Dead games, this is basically that, but newer, and with some different twists. Back 4 Blood is actually made by those same people. It's got up to 4-player co-op or solo with AI teammates, running through zombie-filled story missions just like in Left 4 Dead. There are actually 8 different characters to choose from, and each of them have different passive abilities to create different playstyles, which I think is an awesome addition. Some examples are additional ammo capacity for the whole team, instant reviving, faster ADS speed, you get the idea. One of, if not the biggest change in Back 4 Blood is a, quote, roguelike card system. Now this might turn some of you off, but let me explain it first because I didn't know how I felt about that term initially either. Basically, think of these cards as perks you can equip, similar to the passive abilities for the characters. Things like melee hits causing the target to temporarily take increased damage, secondary weapons having unlimited ammo, some give and take perks like more health but less damage resistance, and other things like that. You can equip pre-made decks of these cards or create your own deck, or again you can think of these decks as groups of perks if it's easier that way. Another thing I appreciate about this game is they are keeping playthroughs fresh with more than just the card system. Enemy types and placements change, and so do hazards and other things, so it's not just the same level step by step every time. There is a 4v4 PvP mode in Back 4 Blood where you are either the cleaners, which are the humans, or the ridden, which are the special zombies, with both sides having their own abilities, weapons, and specialties to keep things fresh. The gameplay there just sounds like the ridden need to try and kill the cleaners, and the cleaners just have to survive as long as possible. Just like the cleaners, there are 8 different ridden to choose from, but we've only seen 4 so far. Back 4 Blood releases October 12th for PS4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X, and PC. Also, it will be on Game Pass day 1, so that's how I'll be playing. Next up, we've got Riders Republic. Biking, snowboarding, skiing, wingsuit flying, with 50 players and massive races. This game looks hilariously intense and chaotic, and I love it. Honestly, it's kind of hard to sum up this game with anything more than that. We've got downhill races, team versus team competitions, other PvP modes and events, even open world exploration with other players online. The biggest draw for me was the massive races with 50 players where, for example, you start snowboarding, transition into wingsuit flying, then transition into biking all in the same race. One thing to point out, 50 players is next gen only, previous generation consoles only get 20. And I actually didn't know about the open world gameplay until I was doing research for this video, and that's another thing holding my attention now. Riding around with your friends open world with wingsuits, bikes, and all that actually sounds like a pretty chill time. There's a variety of environments like snowy mountains and arid canyons, so you can ride around on whatever you want. There's also some crazy customization for your character and your equipment, which is, of course, a necessity. And there's a career mode that you can do solo or in PvP. Honestly, not sure if I'm going to pick it up though, since the game is $60, and I don't think I'd put in the time to warrant that. This game seems like it would be great for Game Pass, so I'll wait for it to come to that or on PlayStation Plus or something. Riders Republic releases October 28th on PS4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X, PC, and Stadia. After that, we've got Far Cry 6. A series that I didn't get into until the 3rd game, which I loved. Really liked the 4th one, didn't really care for the 5th, but Far Cry 6 is looking very promising and I'm really excited to play it. You're on the tropical island of Yara, and the current president/dictator Anton Castillo, who's played by Giancarlo Esposito, fantastic villain actor, is willing to do whatever it takes to forge Yara into his own vision of paradise, even if it means sacrificing some of his own citizens. He's also grooming his son Diego to be the next president, and you can see in some of the trailers how conflicted Diego is about the whole thing, and the story is looking like it's got some serious potential, even just going off of that tension. You play as Danny, who you can choose to be male or female, who is a native citizen of Yara, and you band together with other guerrilla fighters to liberate the island from Anton's dictatorship. The weapons and gadgets we've seen so far have some really cool, crazy designs. You also get some fangs for hire with a wiener dog, an alligator, and a rooster. One way they're switching up the normal Far Cry formula here is taking out skill trees. Far Cry 6 will not have them. Instead, you can get stat buffs and abilities from gear that you pick up. Personally, I think that's a good move, and I'm really excited to jump into that new formula. Far Cry 6 releases October 7th for PS4 and 5, Xbox One and Series X, PC, and Stadia. Up next, we've got Metroid Dread. Alright, quick disclaimer, I have never played a Metroid game, but a few years ago I discovered how much I love the Metroidvania genre when I played Hollow Knight, so naturally a new Metroid caught my attention. In Metroid Dread, you play as the intergalactic bounty hunter Samus, and battle your way out from the depths of a mysterious alien world plagued by a mechanical menace. If you're like me and aren't familiar with the franchise, here's some info for you. The first Metroid came out in, wait for it, 1986. So it's easy to understand why this game's name is half of the genre Metroidvania. Dread is the fifth main entry in the series and will be bringing the story arc that started with that 1986 game to an end. This tells me I should probably play the other games before Dread, but that's a lot of work, so I may do it the way I probably shouldn't and just let this be my first Metroid game. The combat, the exploration, the abilities, the platforming, it all looks great, and like I said, might be enough to make me play even though I may be totally lost in the story. Metroid Dread releases October 8th on Nintendo Switch and nowhere else, just Nintendo Switch. There it is, 4 of the best new games coming out in October. I will definitely be playing Far Cry 6 ASAP. Back 4 Blood I'll put plenty of time into with my friends, might even stream that or put up some gameplay videos on the YouTube channel. Riders Republic looks fun, but it's a maybe for me right now because like I said, $60, not sure if I'd put in the time to warrant that. And Metroid Dread, I'm still keeping a very close eye on. Let me know in the comments which one of these games you're going to play, and also let me know what games you're excited for that are coming out in November so we can get a head start on that video. If you want more new release videos like this, along with my streams, let's plays, and gaming discussions, be sure to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. You can also follow me and my other content on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter @TheOnlyResh. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, beat that boss, find that last collectible, roll those credits. I'm out.